now that we've cut out our paper pattern pieces, we're ready to pin them on our fabric. But a couple of things before we get started is the part, if you were doing shorts and you cut off the pant part, you could save that part and tape it on later if you want to make pants later. So these patterns you could use over and over and over again. Okay, so you will also need a tape measure and some straight pins to complete this next task. Now if you look up close here, you're going to find what view you are doing. And we are doing shorts A right here. And I like you to circle it. And it tells you need a piece 1, 2, and 3. But we decided not to use 3 because we're using elastic. Now here it tells you if your fabric is 45 inches wide and you're doing a small, this is or size 3/4, which is a small, you lay it out like that. If your fabric is 45 inches wide and you're doing a small, medium, or large, or extra large, you lay it out like this. And if your fabric is 60 inches wide, no matter what size you're doing, well, I take that back, small, lay it out like this. And if you go to the top, if your fabric's 60 inches wide and you're doing a medium, large, or extra large, you lay it out like this. So we're going to circle the one we are doing, which is 45 inches wide and a medium. All right? Now, if you look at this, it has piece 1 here and piece 2 here. So it's kind of like a puzzle. So we're going to take piece 1 and lay it on there just like so. Piece 1 and piece 2. Now, this pattern is rather simple, but if you look, I want to show you a couple of things that I forgot to tell you. You'll see F, which means fold, and S, which means selvage. And the fold of your fabric is right here, and the selvage is right here. And the selvage usually is tightly woven or a white little strip. Okay, so on this particular pattern, we just fold it directly in half, but not all patterns are like that. Now, you also will see on the pattern something called a grain line, which is very important. And this says grain line right here. It has to be parallel to the selvage. So if these two lines were to go on forever, they would never meet. So to make sure that they are parallel to the selvage, you're going to put a pin down on this end of the grain line, and then you're going to measure it. So I'm going to measure from here to the selvage, which is just a tad over 12. It doesn't matter if the measurement's 12, 10, 8, 2, 15 inches, but whatever the measurement is, it needs to be the same on this end of the grain line. So I'm a little off, so all I have to do is rotate it, just like that. Then you're going to put a pin in like so. All right, now we got that piece. Now we're going to do the second piece, and you want to pin the grain line in all your pieces before you start cutting. So I'm going to bring this one a little bit closer over here to the edge. Put one pin in this end of the grain line, measure it. It's 8 1/4, whatever it is, which is 8 1/4. It's going to be 8 1/4 over here, and we are right on. Now, once you have these on, and Mr. Ron says, okay, you got it right, you're ready to start pinning the rest. Now, I have camo fabric, so it doesn't matter if our pieces are upside down, flipped over, turned around, but if you have a one-way design, you need to make sure that your design is all going one way. This being the top, where it says fold line, and this being the top on this one. So even if we had a one-way design, we would be okay on this. But one other thing I want to show you for future, sometimes your pieces are dotted like this. That means you flip your pattern piece over, so the printed side would be down. All right, now once we got those 4 pins on, you're ready to start pinning around. You want to pin your corners first. You want to just make sure it's smooth, like so. Then, once you get your corners pinned, you're ready to pin in between. Now, when I pin, if you come up close here, you want to pin, you want your pins to be perpendicular to the edge, like so. And you want to make sure that your pins do not go over the edge. So if this pin went over the edge like that, I would accidentally cut it with my scissors and dull my scissors. So you probably want to pin every 2 to 3 inches just around the piece. The more pins you have, the easier it is to cut. So if you get lazy and only put a few pins in, your cutting's going to be sloppy, and then your project's going to be very difficult to sew, which you don't want that. Once you get it pinned, ask your teacher if it is properly done, and then get the go-ahead to cut. And we'll show you how to cut in the next video.